Welcome back, everyone. I decided to try to find some more Luminite. So I've done a block scanner for Luminite ore, mostly so I can just, cook stuff in the smeltery. But yeah, also I can see how rare it is. Definitely kind of annoying how inconsistent certain ores are in like byproduct ores are like the non-main product in a ore deposit. That's pretty much due to limitations on how ore spawns. Um, it's very challenging to like actually make it so that uh, the ores actually spawn with more than one type of ore. Believe it or not, essentially you spawn the regular ore deposits, like in this case redstone, and then what you do is you actually just spawn like a million other um, ones that replace the redstone ore. Like redstone ore replaces netherrack ore, and then fire ore replaces redstone ore, but it can only spawn like in redstone ore. So you don't see like the 100 other times it tries to spawn, um, unless something's gone wrong. Like this ore is very uncommon. I wonder if it wouldn't be better to make it like a drop from, say, gold. Whereas ore veins in the previous version of Multiblock Madness, I could just generate each vein with a certain percentage of itself um, as a different resource. So this is just like the shotgun approach. Geolysis has a ore vein spawning system that is percentage based, but the problem with it only spawns in the center of chunks. I'm pretty sure that is because the ore veins are a little bit bigger than they would be. Like the normal veins are supposed to be like they're supposed to be massive, and I'm pretty sure that's to prevent cascading world gen issues. But it's kind of a pain for my purpose because I want to have them spawn a lot more frequently than the mod expects. We're back crafting some light engineering blocks. I don't know how many I can make. I just pre-crafted a bunch of stuff here. 4, apparently. We do have some more constantan, so that's good. I don't recall if I showed this, but I just set up this quick little heater again. Ooh, that's uncool. I'll have to get some lava there. Uh, actually, hold on. What is the heating for this? Okay. It is lava temp. Yeah, so I could just use quick gears and rods, wires, things like that. There we go. So I'm gonna make more gears, basically. The other one is redstone engineering blocks. It looks like I'm missing invar plates. I did craft up some invar, so I'm gonna just smush these. That's pretty quick. I did decide to lower the chance of grit from the drilling machine to 10% from 25. So you have a 20% chance to get a grit after these two steps, rather than a 35% chance. Also, after watching the last video, I felt like um there were a couple things that I would rather. Oh, look at that. That's fun. There are a couple things I would have rather done differently. I feel like going on. Wow, that's interesting. Going on about recipe ideas, like how I'm thinking about stuff, is kind of boring. Especially since I haven't actually changed it. I think I like talked about changing this the entire episode last time. Um, and also, if I don't really know exactly what to say, I feel like I can kind of meander a little bit, which is also I felt like a little bit less interesting. So me personally would have rather seen more stuff where I know what I was going to do rather than more stuff where I just kind of talked about what I was thinking about. Which I don't know, maybe those of you that actually watch the series appreciate me talking about what I'm thinking about, but so I mean I'm kind of doing it right now where I talk about what I'm thinking about, but I'd like to try to have a little bit more content that I show rather than just thinking. We'll see if I remember. I did end up crafting up these bricks. One other thing I was thinking, which would be pretty cool, um, and here I am talking about my thoughts again, is to make bricks for the equivalent these guys, like sturdy, tough, etc. I don't know if I'll do that right away. I mean, I definitely won't do that right away, but it might be something that gets added later. Apparently, that can still happen. Whipped up a quick fluid cell here with the expanded tank construction, so it can hold 128 buckets. And I'm making some more coke so I can make steel a little easier. You can make it with charcoal, technically, and I probably will, now that I'm thinking about it. It just gives you less than coke. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, infinite versus finite is kind of a no-brainer. Here we go, 2 stacks of steel. Should just about cover it. Huh. I really should make charcoal be a little bit less efficient, I think. Alright, I've halved the amount of carbon you get from charcoal. So you only get half a steel worth versus a... Alright, I've also increased the amount of carbon needed for steel. So charcoal is 4 charcoal, 2 coal, or 1 coke is required to make steel. This ash is super annoying. Thankfully, I did set a filter here, so it can no longer be pulled by this chute. So it'll take an extremely long time before it backs up completely inside this inventory. Oh my word, look at this. This needs a shave. I guess one of the benefits to washing the nickel, like see how you can melt it down into slag, but then if you wash it, you can melt it down into the pure form. So you don't need to use the foundry if you wash it first. That is actually kind of clever, if I do say so myself. Even though you do lose some, you don't lose it all. And obviously I could just use the foundry, but, you know. Oh, I don't have my washer set up to wash anything that can be washed because gravel can be washed. And it just gets really confused. So it was backing up. I think because it was making more than it had. So like this was making 3 stacks from 1 stack, and like it was getting backed up, it wouldn't go through because it was try to be basically it wouldn't let anything through because there was more stacks, and it was trying to wash something that couldn't be washed, essentially, as far as I could tell. So basically I have it filtered for only crushing stuff, or it only washes crushed stuff. Some of you may have noticed I turned off shaders. That's primarily because my computer has a loose fan, it seems like. And it's really obnoxious and buzzes if my computer gets too hot, which it was definitely getting too hot. So awkward. Inventory is getting pretty full again. I'm sure I could optimize it significantly if I just kind of pay attention and stack stuff properly. Like this here, like I don't need these charcoal. I don't really need, you know, this quartz dust can be smelted, blah, blah, blah. Could turn this back into the gearbox and then put it in my toolbox. This is actually kind of annoying. I didn't really realize that would happen, I guess. I feel like it didn't bother me before. I mean, it's still nice to know, like go to see. And a lot of this, like I do have a check mark or the structure. I think I used the schematic cannon when I did this before. This is an awkward recipe. Imagine that. Yeah, get out of here with that. I don't remember if I showed this, but I did set up a little export bus to keep this stocked. So right now this is running our AE system. So I think what I'm going to do, I'd like to have the crusher where this is, basically. So I'm just going to destroy this. But I think this is kind of how I want it to be, like this. So the stuff just shoots in there. Now this is only going to be the crushed immortite, because this filter and then this. So it's just going to shoot in there. Now I don't know if this is going to be facing the right way. I might have to rotate this. But we'll see. It looks like it will be fairly easy to rotate. There we go. So I want it to be sideways because then the output will be... Oh, this is probably the output, so I think we'll be fine. Actually, yeah, that's fine. So I put the schematic in here. Put a little bit of gunpowder there. It's got 400 shots for one gunpowder. And then I'm going to click play. 2's cool. And then I also need the hammer. Right now I'm just kind of hijacking this energy cell for various purposes. But, nice. Perfect. So I'm probably going to do like a belt that goes kind of up to ground level, like this type of deal. Actually, I think I'm going to do a buffer chest. Or drawer, I guess. There we go. You can totally use belts to transfer rotational force. Wow, that's really quick. So I'm going to switch this to a tag filter that's doing compound chunks, because I'm probably going to use this for other stuff. All right, that looks pretty good. All I need to do now is turn it back on, which I should have like a clutch or something. But here's how I turn it back on right now. Oh, right. Okay, so if I flip this lever, send a couple stacks through. Actually, let's just do it all. Then, I think this has like a big internal buffer. This here... Why isn't this working? Alright, let me pop that real quick. Forgot to actually add it. I thought that might be the case. There we go. Now these get crushed, or sorted, into the same things, copper, zinc, nickel, but they also add a little bit of uranium. That seems like a lot of slag. Because this turns into 2. It's fine. That turns into 4. Okay, cool. So I want to have a void upgrade on this guy as well, I believe. And this should work just fine. Oh, that's going the wrong way. Okay, cool. I would like to set up refining after this. But a big part of it, I'm kind of waiting on better applied energistic stuff before I get started on like better, like proper chains. This is obviously a chain, but I'm basically just extracting resources from the immortite vein over here. Very cool. This is like exactly what I had in mind. Now, obviously, I would like to make it a little bit more complex if I had a little bit more time. Like, instead of just smelting the immortite grit, for example, wash it and then turn it into like sulfur. Um, but, you know, what can you do? This builds up pretty quick. I will probably need some sort of, like, I think I can do a, what's it called? An observer, smart observer, check to see if this is full, and then disable, like, say a clutch right here to make this turn off so we don't void any. Although, I don't actually think it will void. I think it'll just stop flowing all the way back here and then buffer it in there. There's really no reason not to just process everything, except for the fact that I don't have enough power. Thankfully, this doesn't require power, it's just a rotational force device. I would like solar panels to be an option. Um, does dielectric have a molten version? I don't think so. That means the gears are still going to be pretty bad. But yeah, so I would like to have solar panels be viable. I don't want to use the power ones. I want to use these Solar Flux Reborn ones. I haven't done any of the recipes besides, I guess, just those two. Let's see. So we're going to need a bunch of mirrors, alloy. Cook some dielectric alloy up there. Get some more treated here. So this generates 8 tick, which is terrible. 32, 128, 512. So once you get to tier 6, you're making half as much as diesel gen, which is pretty rough, if I'm being completely honest. All right, well, that is not a ton, but it is not nothing. So I guess I'll just slap this on and pretend that I'm doing something smart. I mean, honestly, that's quite a bit better than nothing. 8 RF is extremely negligible though, so yeah. I mean, even this basic Fernator still makes, I don't even know, like 40 or something. Well, that's definitely not great, but passive is still better than not passive, so here we are. All right, we officially have our first immersive machine. Nice. And we got 1 steel plate. Oh, thank goodness. That's going to recoup some lost cost. I'm going to buff that. I think I had it so low because it was repeatable. I don't think it's repeatable now. Did I make it repeatable? Nope. Alright, I don't know if this actually will update, but nope. This is in preparation for 4x ore. This is making token of fear, I believe, which is in turn is used for the crumbling catalyst. There's the token of anger, apparently. Alright, and this should be the other one, and I did not grab a sapling. This should be crumbling catalyst. Perfect. I feel like this is taking longer than usual. Maybe that's like recipe dependent. Here we go. I think this goes here. Haven't actually used one of these before. We're gonna try to 4x some ore. We'll do it with the uranium first, I would say. So technically this is 100 uranium. As you can see, it can be 4x crumbled or 2x washed. So we'll chuck it on here. There we go. Perfect. Now, the crumbled needs to be refined again before it can be smelted. As you can see, it must be refined to level 1. Now, this actually does, now that I'm looking at it, actually require the arc furnace, it looks like, to smelt. Yep. So this can't be smelted just yet. Alright, well that's going to be it for this episode. Got the crusher, I've got the crumbling catalyst. The next tier of ore processing is done. So have a good one, and I'll see you next time.